الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه الله اليقين فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله عز وجل وخير الهدي هدي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة وما يقرب إليها من قول أو عمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما يقرب إليها من قول أو عمل. يقول الله عز وجل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول الله عز وجل: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. My dear respected brothers and sisters, the young children, one of the most beautiful topic you can ever imagine. Alhamdulillah. Probably I've been planning for like 10 years, but I never get the ability. I didn't get the tawfiq. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because as a community, we do have problems. We have family problems, we have children problems, we have ourselves, jobs, we all listen. And we have to address from the Quran and the Sunnah, because as a believer, you cannot move forward to Allah. You cannot be prosper if you do not believe. If you do not believe that the solutions come from Allah and His Messenger. Otherwise, why you are a believer? You know what is believer in Allah? It makes a huge difference. In every aspect of life, when a believer approaches something different. In his job, he's different. In his marriage, in his home, raising his children, he's different. Why? Because he believed. This is number one. Because he believed that this life, it's not the ultimate. It's a temporary place. It's not, he doesn't want every piece from it. He knows this is a test. This is a place where Allah is testing me. So if you understand this, if we all understand that this life is actually going away, and we are going to die one day and then meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the place will be either in Jannah and the hellfire. So you solve all the problems by understanding this concept, that you are here a visitor. You are here in this dunya passing. The Prophet Muhammad, he used to say, he is ma ana fi dunya illa ka rajulin. He says the similitude between me and the dunya is like someone traveling in the desert. And then he found a tree, a shade of a tree. Then he sat under the tree for a moment to rest or to do something. And then the shade is gone and I left. None of us will stay. So this is what makes the people, the believer, a difference from other people. Now, the topic, like I said, is how to achieve a reasonable, happy marriage life. And all of us, most of us, either we are married for 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, it doesn't matter, or maybe we are going to marry. This is a sunnah from Allah. This is sunnatul anbiya, az-zawaju min sunnati. The Prophet Muhammad says, marriage is my sunnah. You cannot just say, you know what, forget about things, let me do my life, enjoy. No. The Prophet he says, many ahadith, shirarukum uzzabukum. He says, the most evil amongst you are those who are not married. Az-zawaju nisfu deen. Marriage is half of religion. And then he says, فَاتَّقِ اللَّهَ فِي الشَّطْرَ الْبَاقِي. He says, fear Allah in the other half. Think about this, my brothers and sisters. When you get married, you get half of the deen already, you have it. You have it. If you know how to deal with it. Unfortunately, that's my point. We're not on, Zawaj actually is one of the most ni'am of Allah. It's one of the most blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the majority of us, almost an amazing number, we don't know how to enjoy this marriage. And the reason why, because like I said in the beginning, we don't have this concept of like, I am here only a temporary, I want to do the best I can, I want to serve Allah, I want to do what I'm supposed to do, I want to look. And that's what makes marriage work, is when a person fears Allah and has taqwa and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, this is the bottom line. You can keep talking forever about how to make your marriage like it. The only thing is the fear of Allah and taqwa. Taqwa, it means the practical understanding of this religion is the relationship between you and Allah that makes your marriage work. It's amazing. Why? Because if a person believes in Allah and believes that this is my test and believes that I have responsibilities toward my wife, toward my children, what's going to happen? He's not going to ask for his right. He's not going to go and say, oh my wife, you have to do this for me, you have to do this for me. No. What he's going to do? Because he fears Yawm al-Qiyamah. He fears Allah. He fears that Yawm al-Qiyamah, he's going to go with empty-handed. He's going to ask, what is I need to do to make my marriage work? What Allah wants from me, what I should do in order to make Allah happy in my marriage. So he's dealing in his family, in his small family, not with actually directly with his wife to make his wife happy, but he wants to make Allah happy. You think somebody can go wrong? Because the majority of the questions that I hear, alhamdulillah, we do counselings and we listen to, every month we have 2-3 people, they call in and they have this marriage. And I wanted to do it as a collective counseling. We all need this. Wallahi, I need it more than anyone else. I study for my own. And the majority of the families, when they say, oh, I did everything for him, and I didn't see anything. Allahu Akbar. You see the problem right there? You did not do it for Allah. Wallahi, this is, I swear, and I understand what I'm saying. If you treat your wife properly for the sake of Allah, I don't care how she treats me. This is success. This is a successful believer. I don't want to treat my children and feed them so they can become, mashallah, obedience to me. Maybe they will pay my bills. No. Subhanallah. This is my responsibility toward Allah. Allah asked me to take care of my family. كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ. This is what the hadith says. All of you are responsible, and all of you are responsible for the people under you. The wife, she is responsible for the children. And the husband, he's responsible. The children are responsible. It's a collective responsibility. Wallahi, to be honest with you, the majority of the problems in marriage in marriage, they come from these two things. Number one, shaitan. You see, sometimes you see, he put shaitan everywhere. It's almost like he has a relationship with him. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says this in the Quran. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. You know what is, subhanAllah, when somebody asks me a question, Wallah, I love that everyone, when I finish, I don't want somebody to compromise if I say something wrong. Wallahi, and I will happily accept if somebody says, brother, this is wrong, can you please explain to me or correct me? But when you read the Quran, because somebody, when he poses the question, I sense it, but I'm sorry to say this, but this is the reality. We can't lie to one another. I don't want you to lie to me. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the truth. When somebody asks me a question, I look at him and say, brother, do you read the Quran? And I'm not putting my brother down. No, I'm just, because the question, I give you an example. One time I finished the khutbah, brother comes, pulls me over. He said, brother, I need to talk to you. I said, alhamdulillah, at least somebody will advise me. Wallahi, I love advice. If I talk to you about this topic of advice, that Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he used to pay somebody a salary, a monthly salary. Don't be afraid, don't be shy to advise the Imam. Who's this guy? No matter who, he's a human being. He makes mistakes. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he's the 4th Khalifa of the Ummah. And then, the 5th Khalifa actually. And then he used to hire Haywa ibn Rajab, one of these people in his government, and pay him from his own pocket. Today, wallahi, it's amazing. We don't like to hear the advice. And then he says, here you go. I pay you every month this salary. If you see me doing something wrong, pull my jalabiya and tell me, taqillah, فَإِنَّكَ سَتَمُوتُ غَدًا. He says, fear Allah, you are going to die tomorrow. This is how our marriage should be. My wife should be an eye, open an eye. When I do something wrong, sincerely, she's going to say, my husband. Because no one can see the man. No one can see the man. No one can see the woman in a hidden area except the man and the wife. Wallahi, and I think this is a blessing from Allah. Because we can always compromise with one another. We can always look nice to one another. But you know, with that person that you sleep with him every minute, that's real. That's reality of you. Allah wants to give you an image of you. The Prophet, he said this in hadith, he says, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. He says the best man is the best to his wife and his family and his children and to his people who are under him. Not he's nice to the people around him. And this is, Dr. MashaAllah, brother, I love you, No, to your family, because they are under you. They are under your care. They are under your protection. And if you harm them, there is no need for you. You have no moral. You are not good. Why? Because this is just showing off. If you're real, your reality will be exposed to your life. And the same thing for the woman. They keep talking to the phone with each other. Ya Habibti, I love you so much. You are, mashallah, they say the wrong thing and they lie to each other and they agree with each other for what? But with the husband, he's not going to be like this. He's going to be in a nice way. Oh, my dear wife, you are missing your fajr. And that's not right. Who's going to tell the woman that you are missing fajr? And fajr, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, one of the heaviest. This is a thermostat, I call it. Wallahi, it's a thermostat for all of us. When I see myself not going for fajr regularly, I says, Ya Allah, something wrong with me. And then I give more effort. He says, أَتْقَلُ الصَّلَاةِ عَلَى الْمُنَافِقِ صَلَاةُ الْفَجْرِ. He says the heaviest prayer on the hypocrites, and this is dangerous, but we have to say this. He says, Salatul Fajr. You have to get up and pray Salatul Fajr on time. Salatul Fajr was never meant on 10 o'clock. Some people, they're sleeping. His wife, she's sleeping the whole day and wake up at 12 and pray Fajr at 12 on the sun for no reason. If she's pregnant, if she's giving birth, if something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it, that's something else. We're talking about somebody who's doing this regularly. And then the husband, he's happy. He doesn't care about you. But when you miss something for his own benefit, then he's going to turn the world upside down. Why? Because this marriage is not based on the deen. It's not based on taqwa. Back again to the brother who asked me, and I told him, brother, you don't read the Quran. Not because I look it down at somebody, but it's just to show you, we need to read the Quran. You want to fix your marriage? Wallahi, read the Quran and the hadith. They are medicine, they are miracles. Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. This is ayat, miracle. They will transfer on the human being. And then he says, brother, I says, what's going on? He says, brother, you mentioned so much. قال العلماء. The ulama, they say, I said, brother, do you read the Quran really? That's what Allah says in the Quran. وَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask those who have knowledge. If you don't know, I don't know. I ask the people who have more knowledge. Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam ibn Taymiyyah, Imam. Those people who are agreed upon, we ask them, whom you want me to Einstein or such and such, or Darwin, what person you want me? There is a hadith that says, whomever says about the Quran, من قال في القرآن بعقله. Listen to this, my brothers. من قال في القرآن بعقله فقد أخطأ ولو أصاب. You cannot come up with your own tafsir. Tafsir is already there. We go to tafsir al-Jallalin, we go to Sabuni, we go to tafsir ibn Kathir, we go to al-Bidayah wal-Nihaya, we go to the books of that agreed upon. We go to Sahih al-Bukhari, we go to Muslim, we go to the people who follow this manhaj, this methodology, the proper way. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي. The best people is my people, and those who follow them, and those who follow them, and he stopped. This is the best generation, is the generation that was upon the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. If you tell me, brother, don't follow those people. They are people and we are people. I said, brother, you don't understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised those people. If you follow them in their marriage, if you follow them in everything. We're not talking about technology. We're not asking you nobody will ask you to ride a camel in Las Vegas Boulevard. Nobody, this is like the akhlaq and the principle are the same. The technology can change forever. But lying is always haram. Cheating is always haram since Allah created Adam alayhi salam. Be good with your family, it's always good since Adam alayhi salam to the Prophet Muhammad until the Day of Judgment. This is what we're talking about, the principle. You can fly, it doesn't matter, that's something else. You can drive whatever car you want as long as it's halal. So this is the idea. I said, brother, this is what Allah is telling me. If I don't understand something, I ask such and such. But anyway, that's one thing. There is one verse in the Quran. And one of the reasons I said for the misconceptions and for the problems and disagreement with two people living with each other. And this is sad. It's sad when you live with somebody 24 hours and you don't go along with something really bad. It hurts. Because you can be with someone else that you only see him once in a month and you don't like him, he doesn't like you, that's okay. But somebody that I see him 24 hours, we don't get along, it's a big punishment. Something wrong. And then anyway, let's go back again to like I said. The first thing is, this is what the shaitan did. We have hadith and Sahih Muslim. And the reason I say the hadith, because I want to tell the people who are married, do not allow the shaitan to be happy. Because that's what makes him happy, is to see you divorced. If you see you fighting. So you're actually making the shaitan very happy. Why don't you make Allah happy? Why are you making the shaitan happy? Even if something happens, say, I'm sorry. Maybe it's my fault, maybe it's not. Look at this. I'm going into details, but inshallah in the future. But anyway, this is the first day of this topic. But anyway, the hadith says, Inna shaytana. Verily shaitan, yada'u arshahu ala al-ma'. He put his throne above the water. And then he will allow this junud, this army of devils to come into him. Then he will ask him, what did you do today? He says, I did this, I make somebody drink alcohol, I make somebody fight, I make somebody do this. He says, مَا فَعَلْتَ شَيْئًا. You have done nothing. Look at the shaitan. لَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. He says, you have done nothing. Just a small thing for him. And then one of the devils, he says, today I was after two couples, two married people. Two married, sister, listen to this. Shaitan is telling you, this is not good, man. This is a whispering. Look at the other people, what they have. Look at these people, they have a nice car. This is a whisper of shaitan until he deprives you from all kind of goodness to relate with that human being that is next to you. Instead of like praising what you have already. وَلَئِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Allah says, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكَ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are grateful for what Allah already given you, Allah says, I will give you more. So he says, one come to him and he says, I was after these two people until they divorced one another. Then the shaitan stood up and make him, he says, come near to me. Idnu minni. Idnu minni means come closer to me. The shaitan now is happy. He says, ni'ma an. He says, what a beautiful devil you are. Can you even ni'ma, ni'ma? This is the hadith word, verbally. He says, ni'ma anta. He says, amazing you are. Blessed you are. The shaitan is blessing this. Why? Because he makes two people divide. And the reason why, again, is obvious. When you divide two people, to be honest with you, the children. This is why shaitan, he's saying ni'mah. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. If he divides between you and your husband, if you divide between you and your wife, those kids are gone. Ashaddu. This is what they say. The worst things that will happen, the ulama again, they say the worst thing that will happen to the children, even more, listen to this word very carefully, even more than the death of one of his family is divorce. More than death. I can die and my wife can raise the children properly. You can die and the husband can raise them. But when you are divorced, you know what happened? A war. We've seen this every day. When they get problems, the man now he's treating his children nice. The woman, she's whispering on the mind of, and this is dhulm. This is oppression. In the sight of Allah, this is the worst punishment for it. If I have a divorce with my wife, okay, I divorce. Alhamdulillah, this is what happened. We cannot live, it's okay. We cannot get along, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, إِمْسَاكٌ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. He says, you hold the wife with goodness, or you send her with ma'ruf, with ihsan, with goodness. You take her in good or you love. But you don't do this annoying between the children, creating this and this. Because you create an enemy in society. And that's what happened to the people when they divorce. Your husband is the killer, he's bad, he did this for me, he did this for me. No. Alhamdulillah, your father is good, your mom is good, mashallah. Be obedient to your mom, be nice to your mom. Even if you divorce, that's a true believer. Allahu Akbar. Listen to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Wallahi, this inshallah I'm going to go for a couple months about, or maybe, because this is in need. We need. It has more. Why Islam is here? Is to create a small family, and the small family is a city. The city is the community is a city, and the city is the town, and the town is the country. The country is continent, and the world becomes from these two people. That Islam came for these two people, actually. Because these two people constitute the whole world. If we don't have these two people happy in their house, what do we have? Nothing. So number one is the shaitan. He's doing his job. Number two, that the ignorance of the man and the wife of their duties and responsibilities to one another. I don't know what I need to do. What Allah told me to do, I don't even care what Allah tells me. This is what the attitude. And you want happiness? You want to go home and find peace? You don't even ask somebody, what is my right? And the woman should never pick up a book and read, what is the right of my husband? What should I do for this man? There is a small story jump in my mind. A woman came to Rasulullah ﷺ. He says, Adatu ba'lin anti? Are you married? Do you have a man? Do you have a wife? Do you have a husband? She says, Na'am ya Rasulullah. He says, how are you with him? She says, Wallahi, I do lift nothing except I do for him. To the best of my ability, I do everything possible to create for him this and so on. He says, Unduri, be careful. Unduri, see how far you are from him. فَإِنَّهُ جَنَّتُكِ وَنَارُكِ. He is your Jannah and he is your hellfire. If you don't know how to create a harmony between one human being is with you. How could you create a harmony with the world? That line. Because you are failing in your home. Wallahi, I'm speaking from my heart. If you cannot be good to one person, how could you be to a society? How could you be nice to 10? How could you be nice to the city? That's why the ulama, they say another thing for the man. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, you're not going to fix the woman. He says, دَارِهَا تَعِشْ بِهَا. He says, be political with her. Be soft. Be easy. Be forgiven. And you are going to enjoy her. Small thing can make the whole house happy. One line. One word. You go today and says, okay, this brother says one word. Let me test it. Wallahi, you go home. There's some people, they smile until east and west. But when they go home, they frown. They're war. They have a sword. And I'm like, that's not, when you go home, you should be the most comfortable place in the world for a man. The most comfortable place for the woman is her house. She throws his clothes in, it's okay. He's running in the house crazy. This is his home. They are happy. They say something wrong, I don't listen to every detail. You know? Some people, oh, stop. What did you say? He's like a cowboy in Texas, you know. Forget about what she said. Look about, oh, what about the tea? Can you look at that stuff? Oh, let me see this. And then I give you stories from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you don't say, and this is the model, the example. Khadija, let's begin with Khadija. Time doesn't permit, but inshallah after we pray sunnah for those who want, and then I have the rest. This one here is the main one. But I can say it because it needs somebody to sit with me for maybe 20 minutes to make you happy your life. But in the future, but after inshallah, because some people they need to go to work. But anyway, but if you stay after sunnah, we have for those people who have problems, family things, they sit down, we will relate something with the Quran, the Hadith, and the stories of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyway, I will go to Khadija radiallahu anha, but I will say something in general, which is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, this is how you be with your family. This is how you are with your wife. And this is how the woman should be in the house. You know how? It's amazing. You know the bee? I studied about almost 5 documentary about the bees. The reason why, you tell me, brother, what the bee has to do with the family. Listen to this. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says this hadith, my brother. His word is miracle. His word, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. And people are not paying attention. This is the word from Allah. The word of the Prophet is the word of Allah. Some people, they don't understand this. I don't know why. How can you convince them? And I see these people who says Qur'ani, wallahi, they lost everything. They lost the Qur'an and the Sunnah. Allah says those who distinguish between Allah and His Messenger, they are the true kuffar. Go read. I think surah, one of the surah. I was reading actually 2 days ago. Those who distinguish between Allah and His Messenger. No, Allah and the Messenger, they are both of them al-wahyayn, the two revelations. وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْقُرْآنَ وَمِثْلَهُ مَعَهُ. We have given Muhammad al-kitaba and similar to it. وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. We have given him the book and the wisdom. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. Allahu Akbar. We have given you the book, O Muhammad, in order to give them a translation for what is revealing to them. You can just pick up the Quran and go hide somewhere and then see. No, you have to look at the seerah of the Prophet. You have to look at the hayat. You have to look at his wife. You have to look at his children. You have to, and in order to understand and to encompass the whole idea, the concept of Islam is this, is to look at the whole thing. The Quran, the Sunnah, the wives, the children, and how did the Prophet do? Wallahi, you'll be amazed. You will never want to watch a movie anymore. You will never, ever, because this is entertainment also as well. For the heart, for the soul, because it's from Allah. Come closer a little bit. Come closer. The Prophet Muhammad, he said about the bee, he says, وَالَّذِي, now he's swearing. When he swear, go look at why he swear. He says, وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُحَمَّدٍ بِيَدِهِ. By Allah, by the one that the soul of Muhammad is in his hand. He's swearing by Allah. مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِ كَمَثَلِ النَّحْلَةِ. The similitude of a believer, it's like the bee. And then I says, what the bee does. Listen to, the Prophet gives you 4 things that the bee does. If a woman does this in the house, if the man does these 4 things, he says, لا يأكل إلا طيبا ولا يخرج إلا طيبا. He does not eat except pure thing. He doesn't eat haram. He doesn't do some. ولا يخرج منه إلا طيبا. The word, beautiful word comes from his mouth. Beautiful things comes from his asal, you know, like honey. A believer, his mouth, Ya Habibi, كيف حالك? My wife, how you doing? I missed you today. I text you. Wallahi, I missed you. Subhanallah, when people are not married, they are expert on this. MashaAllah alayhim. They are not married, they are texting. When they get married, paralyzed. Their tongue becomes paralyzed. Why? Because shaitan. You see the beginning? The shaitan is inspire you. Iyak. Be careful. Do not say good words. Do not say good words to your wife. She's going to be above you. Who says this? Actually, this is the opposite of the hadith. Exactly the opposite. If I treat my wife good, she's going to be on top of me. If I treat my husband, the women, they say the same thing. If I treat my husband good and I give him and I be nice to him, he's going to be in the top of me. And probably he's may asking for something else. This is not wrong. Why? The Prophet ﷺ, he says this. He says, إِنَّكُمْ لَن تَسَعُوا النَّاسَ بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ فَسَعُوهُمْ بِأَخْلَاقِكُمْ. He says, you are not going to take over, to conquer the heart of the human being by your wealth. But you are going to conquer the heart of the human being by your tongue, by your akhlaq, by your good word. Even if somebody says something wrong, habibti, no problem. Your ghaddul basar, they call it, is lowering your gaze. This is the job of a man in the house. He's advising, he sees something haram, he sees something in the television that is wrong, he stood up. Yes, now show me your iman. Now show me your responsibility that Allah, put on your shoulder. When you see something haram in your home, when you see your wife not wearing the hijab, when you see your children are not making salat, when you see your family are not on the right path, you bring them to the best. You bring them in a nice way. Slowly, slowly. Oh my children, oh my wife, this is the straight path. This is Allah will, and so on and so forth. So the Prophet ﷺ, he says, لا يأكل إلا طيبا ولا يخرج منه إلا طيب. He eats true and good things, halal and everything, and then what comes of him, so sweet as honey. أقول قولي, I finish the hadith after, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Few more minutes, and then after the khutbah, inshallah, please, I want you to listen to what I want to say, inshallah, if you want. But if you have a job, you have to go, inshallah. But anyway, he says, and then he said, وَلَا تَكْسِرُوا, and it does not break. You know the bee, when you see the bee, it's amazing. The ulama, they say science of the bee now. And this is how a man and a woman should be with each other. He says when the bees stand on a flower to take from you know what it does? It's amazing. And the Prophet Muhammad, it's a miraculous, he described the believer is like the bee. When the bee stood on number one, the bee never stand on the tobacco flower, tobacco, the cigarette plant, it would never, because it's filthy, it's not good. Allah gives them that sense. They don't stand on anything bad. They just go from flowers, beautiful flowers, and they take the nectar and they pollinize the flowers. Without actually science, they say the bees gives the human being, they give us, because they pollinize the fruit. Blueberry and all this vegetables and all this, $15 billion a year. This is in addition to honey. This is just how much, now they can rent them because they don't have the bees now. There is a study now that the bees are disappearing. Go watch this documentary. They call it the silence of the bees, because the bees are disappearing. SubhanAllah, exactly as the true believers in this world are disappearing. It's a miracle hadith. I can talk about this hadith later on, but this is the amazing thing. But anyway, he says he will, when it stands, the bee when it stands on the flower, it only takes what it needs and it keeps flying. It keeps flying, so it doesn't put all the weight on the flower. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, وَلَا تُفْسِدُ وَلَا تَكْسِرُ, and it does not spoil and it does not break. Can you be with your wife like this? Can you be with your husband from today like this? That you're not demanding. This is what it means actually, translation of this. The demanding, I want this, I want what my neighbor has, that's what destroys the family. But the Prophet ﷺ said, stop, do not. I give you a story of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because this love that we're talking about, this relationship between man and woman, the highest standard of example is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And I give you only one example of Khadija radiallahu anha, Ummuna Khadija. One time, when the Prophet ﷺ, a long time ago, and he used to go to the mountain and climb all the mountain, Hira, and to do tahannut. He do meditation as if Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he's wondering about the universe. Before even he received the revelation, he used to go to the cave and hide. His wife, look at the woman, it's amazing. She used to know how many days he's going to stay in the cave. And he liked to go. So she gave him that opportunity. She allowed him. And she used to give him food for 2 days, because she knows he's going to stay 2 days. If it happened that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will stay more than 2 days, she get worried. She says, oh my God, oh Allah, maybe he's hungry now. It's past 2 days. She will pack the food and go and climb all the way and give him the food. And then he says, Ya Khadija, why you do this? Why you came all the way? Why you make yourself tired? She says, Ya Rasulullah, you have the food only for 2 days, but I was afraid, and you passed the 2 days, you may be hungry. This is the relationship. You know, it's more than giving, then I want to take. This is what makes marriage successful. I will talk about this quickly. The other thing is Aisha radiallahu anha. And this is, look at Aisha, she knows the Prophet loves her so much. She didn't, when I looked at the hadith, I said, subhanAllah, she has confidence that the Prophet Muhammad, he loves me. But you know what she said? She said, Ya Rasulullah, كَيْفَ حُبُّكَ لِي? How is your love to me? How is your love? She didn't say, Ya Rasulullah, do you love me or not? Most of the women now, most of the men, do you love me or not? Why? Because we're not doing our job properly, so we are feeling inferior. I'm not doing the right thing. So what this man, maybe he doesn't love me. Why? Because I'm not doing. But when you do everything, like I said, your akhlaq, your moral character, you are giving as much as possible, not for the man, you're giving for Allah. Then you see the reward. The man, he has to love you. So she said, Ya Rasulullah, كيف حبك لي? How is your love? فقال رسول الله كعقدة الحبل. It's like the tie of the rope, the knots of the rope. You know the tie, when you tie something, it's really strong and tight. She said, وكيف هي الآن? And how is she the tie now? He says, كما هي يا عائشة رضي الله عنها. He says, it's the same as before. She wants to double check. Your wife, she always want to hear this word. I love you so much. I will stay with you forever. You are my coolest of my eyes. The Anbiya, they used to make dua. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. And then the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, the ayah, it's talking about the prophets. They ask Allah to make us, the coolness of our eyes is our wives and our children. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا. Oh Allah, give us from our wives and our children the coolness of our eyes. Because if you don't have this, how could you worship Allah properly? How you can do anything? And then the Prophet ﷺ said to Aisha, Ya Aisha, now he wants to give her, and I'm close. He says, Ya Aisha, I don't care when I am going to die, as much as I know that you are going to be my wife in Jannah. He gives her security. He gives her that you are the best. Even in Jannah, you are going to be my wife. What kind of a security that a man can give to his wife more than this? That I want you in the dunya, I love you in the dunya, and you are the best and the coolest of my eye in the dunya. And then he says, not only this, even in the akhirah, even with Allah, for eternity, forever. And Aisha, she feels comfort and happy. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة. Came and he says, Ya Rasulullah. He says, دلني على عملي إذا فعلته أحبني الناس وأحبني الله. أحبني الله وأحبني الناس. It's amazing. This man, he knows. He says, Ya Rasulullah, show me an action, something that I want to do. That Allah will love me, at the same time human beings will love me. Don't think that you don't need the love of the human being. You need it so bad, so much. You need it. You need your wife to love you. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he says, every حركة, كل حركة وسكنة مبنية على الحب. Allahu Akbar. He says every movement in this universe, everything is based on love. Islam is love. Is to love people, is to love Allah, to love His Messenger, to love the Quran, to love your children. Your wife should love you. And says, oh my husband, you are the coolness of my eye. Inshallah, we will go in details about this. So he says, دُلَّنِي عَلَى عَمَلٍ. Show me, Ya Rasulullah, something. Please come closer, the energy. Wallahi, I love the energy. You're not missing anything. If you're not listening, you can go outside. The energy that's together, wallahi, it's amazing. That brings me, one time I was in jail giving the khutbah. Not I wasn't in jail, but they called me. You know, they called me to give the khutbah. I gave 5 khutbah or 3 at the same day. Why? Because I went to travel from one cell to another cell. Wallahi, subhanAllah, I wasn't going to tell you the story, but anyway, it came in my mind. It was in Reno. And then I don't even know, I was just speaking from my heart, and these people who are in jail, the Muslims, they were so intact to one another in jail, in Reno. One of the huge jails, big security. Some of them are killers, some of them are life sentence. I was scared when I was inside. The security, they come and they pull me, they said, be careful. Somebody can grab you, kidnap you, and cut you in pieces. I said, what? SubhanAllah, what I'm doing, sharp. But you know, in the end, these people were so intact and sitting to each other, and the non-Muslims, they were in the back, and then we give them the speech, and we talk to them, and they're crying, and I'm telling them stories, and I'm telling them everything, and then when I finish, they grab you and they kiss you like the security guy, he was telling me they're gonna cut you in pieces. They was loving me in pieces. They was hugging me and crying. And he's going with me from one cell to another cell. And each cell has like 50 people to 60 people, and then another one has 40, 50, another one has... So we have to do 3 khutbat al-Jumu'ah in the same, because we cannot gather them all. So he sees the first one, now he went with me to the next one, and then we finish, and then we do acrobat. We show them, you know, we show them, I used to do gymnastics on. And then when we finish, the security guy, he comes and cries. He says, how is this happening? What is this? I never seen some people, they are so nice people, but they are so close to one another. And the reason why I said this, because when the listener wants to listen from you, Allah put in your heart the right thing for you. So you remind me, Allah will remind me of something good that you need to hear, and you need to hear it for your family. Because you want to hear sincerely, and I want to share with you sincerely, so what can happen? It's amazing. Allah will put in my heart the proper way, and then He's going to put in your heart, what is? You're going to tell me. What Allah will put in your heart. Understanding, acceptance. Because you are sincere to hear, and Allah, I'm sincere to tell you. I'm not telling you you're going to pay me. I'm sincere to tell you what happened. Allah, when He see these 2 ingredients, He put acceptance on the listener. And then you will go home and be happy and subhanAllah. Anyway. So, he says, Dullani ala amali. He says, Allah remind me of that hadith. See, it came just like that. He says, show me something that I do, Allah will love me and the people will love me. He says, Izhud fi dunya yuhibbuk Allah. He says, be abstain from the dunya. Do not be so much obsessive, compulsive about the dunya. Man, if I don't have that car, I'm gonna die. If I don't have that house, I'm gonna be destroyed. Oh, my husband, if you don't bring me this, I'm gonna commit suicide. Subhanallah. How Allah will love you? How are you gonna have a happy life if you have this attitude toward the dunya? You don't believe in the akhirah? You don't believe in Jannah? Then don't expect happiness in your life. This is number 1. Never. And when you get married, marry the woman that she fears Allah and she believes in Jannah and the hellfire. To be honest with you, yesterday I was sitting with a Muslim. He says, brother, I don't believe in Jannah. Almost like this, similar. He says, it's an assumption. You know what is assumption? Something, it's not true. It's everybody, it's just, Jannah is real. The Prophet Muhammad said, Udkhiltul Jannah. I was made to enter Jannah. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ رَأَى. In the Quran, Allah says, Muhammad have seen miracles with his own eyes in Jannah. If the woman does not believe in Jannah, if the man does not believe in Jannah, wallahi, you will never have happiness in your marriage. This is the reality. You're going to be fighting to get more of the dunya, and she's going to be a competition between you and your wife, between the wife and the husband. But if you slow down, compare to read the Quran, slow down. I want Allah. This week, I only want Allah. I'm going to this and this. Wake me up for Fajr, my husband. The husband wake up the wife for the Fajr. And the wife, she's watching. Oh, my husband, you are missing this and this, and your religion. Today, we are so much in dunya, so Allah will punish us with the same. So he says, show me something that I do in this life. Allah will love me and the people will love me. He said, Izhud. Listen, Izhud fi dunya yuhibbuk Allah. Be abstain from the dunya, not too much. Just do your work, do your business, pay your bills, no problem. But do not be, oh my God, if I don't have $2 million, I'm going to die. If I don't have this stuff, no. He says, stay away from it. Allah will hit you like this. He says, وَاسْهُدْ فِي مَا عِنْدَ النَّاسِ يُحِبُّكَ النَّاسِ. He says, abstain in what is in the hand of the people will love you. This is the B. You remember the B? It gives more than it takes. If you want the secret of marriage life, here you go. Here, this is one of them. I have it written in here, one of them. I get 10 of them. 10 of them will make you, inshallah, you practice them. You may fail the first day. You may be caught the first time you try to practice something and the wife cut you. Oh, you practiced it. But later on, you will develop skills. There was a man, he heard from the sheikh. One of the reasons of marriage life, I have it, is al-madh. We're not supposed to praise one another. You know, as a human being, as a man with man and woman. But we are ordered to praise our wives and the women to praise the men. You know, because we are so close. But in reality, I cannot say, MashaAllah, brother, look at you, your voice is, you know, we're not recommended. We're not supposed to praise one another because we may destroy the people. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, حُطُّ التُّرَابَ عَلَى الْمَدَّاحِينَ. Put dust on the face of those who praise people. They keep praising the people. No. But when it comes to wife and husband, we need to put more emphasis in this ingredient. Now you have this one. Al-madh. Keep praising your wife. Keep praising your husband. Both of us, this is 10 is for man and for the woman. They are maharat, they are skills that I collected them for so many years. And I practice some of them. I try to practice something. You're not perfect, you may make mistakes here and here, but at least you are reasonable. Why? Because you praise it. Imagine for the women now, your husband comes home and he's tired and he bought something, maybe some fruit or some watermelon or something. You know, most of the women, they don't know this word, this magical word of praising the man coming from work so hard and trying to bring something home. What is this? Can you throw it in the garbage? I cannot eat this. This is the worst things ever you brought. You always bring stuff. So what? She's diminishing. No, she prayed. MashaAllah. Beautiful watermelon. You know what? I was looking for it. Today, I say, Ya Allah, give me watermelon. And you brought it to me. This is, in reality, this is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, this is okay with your wife. The kadhib and exaggeration, it's not okay except in the case of marriage. SubhanAllah, people are not doing it. You can look at your wife and says, MashaAllah, you look so beautiful today. I like the moon. Maybe she scares you, but still you say, Allahu Akbar. You know, and then the food. This guy, you know, sometimes the people don't praise the food. His wife, she's been cooking the whole day, she's cleaning the whole day, and she put food, and maybe sometimes, you know, the smell, or maybe no salt. Because, MashaAllah, you're not going to die with no salt. Or maybe no onion, nothing's going to happen to you. Oh, subhanAllah. The Prophet Muhammad came to his home and he says, do you have some food? To his wife. He learned from Rasulullah and he's more than you and your wife and your family. And then his wife, she says, Ya Rasulullah, we have nothing except this dry bread. If your wife gives you dry bread, what are you going to do? You say, you know my wife, thank you, son, bye-bye. You shut the door. What kind of a marriage is this? What kind of a life with you? You are the worst human being ever I saw. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, okay, he looked at the bread, he said, Alhamdulillah. He said, do you have any maraq? Do you have any liquid to make it soft? They say, Ya Rasulullah, we don't have anything. He says, anything? Nothing? They say, Ya Rasulullah, we do have something. He said, what? He says, vinegar. You know what is vinegar? You drink vinegar and tell me. To know the difference between Rasulullah and the whole world. He's coming to his home, he's hungry, he wants to eat, there is no food, they put him dry bread and they put vinegar, and then look at him, he starts praising the food. He says, نِعْمَ الْإِذَامُ الْخَلْ نِعْمَ الْإِذَامُ الْخَلْ نِعْمَ الْإِذَامُ الْخَلْ. He's singing now. He says, beautiful are vinegar, beautiful vinegar as liquid, beautiful vinegar with the bread and so on, and he added. The Prophet Muhammad, he says, if somebody invite me with a small bone, no meat on it, I will come and visit him. Can you be that humble person? Today, if somebody invites you, brother, what do you invited me for? Allah, we have to change. Akhlaq al-Quran, it's amazing. I am not here in this dunya for the meat you give me. I come to visit you, I'm with you, it's okay. You don't have to put nothing. I love you, my brother. Can you have this attitude? Oh, my wife, you don't cook, I love you. You cook, I love you 2 times. You don't clean, I love you, alhamdulillah. Whatever, you are between you and Allah. She gets more scared. She starts to do more because you left her with Allah. Even if she does a little bit for Allah, it's better for me that she does a lot only for me. Because she will not be rewarded in the day of judgment. Because ta'awul, I'm dealing with my wife not because of ذاتها, because of her. I'm dealing with my wife because I want the reward in Jannah. If she doesn't want Jannah, alhamdulillah, that's your business. It's not mine. I have to still do my job. Even if you have problem with your wife, I still go and buy and cook and do whatever you do and clean. And then the same for the women. You have a big problem with your wife. Oh, mashallah, he's not doing good, he's doing bad, and so on. No, I'm still cleaning. If I'm a wife that I fear Allah, I'm still cleaning, I'm still cooking, I'm still sitting in my bed, and I'm still doing the right thing, still beautifying myself. So this is number one, is al-madh. One of the stories that happened about madh joke, he says the sheikh told them you have to praise the food of your wife. Why you don't praise? He says, mashallah, today I'm going to praise. So he went home. So he entered, Assalamu alaikum, my wife, how are you? Any food? Yes. She put the food, and then he starts eating. He says, mashallah. The first time, he never praised the food. He says, this is the first time I heard from the sheikh. He says, praise your wife's food, praise her action, praise her body, praise her hair. You know, mashallah, you have beautiful eyes. But this is not shame, this is halal. We don't have these things outside, we have them only in the house. MashaAllah, this is beautiful. This is what makes spice your life. This make your life. And the women, they change the house. One day the bedroom looks this side. One time the kitchen is like this. One time the table cover. It's just a small table cover. You change the color. Your husband will love you for this. He said, MashaAllah, she's just cleaning the door, the outside of the door. If you clean it and your husband comes, MashaAllah, he's going to change. Small thing. It takes you 1 minute. Wallah, it's a miracle, this thing. So the man, he went to his wife, mashallah, good food, and she starts crying. He says, what happened? She says, the first time you praised the food, I got the food from my neighbor. It was not my cooking. SubhanAllah. See, he got caught in this one. But he's training, you know, he's training. The other one, the sheikh says, you have to carry your burden. You have to carry your wife, and this is your responsibility. And your mas'uliyah. You have to carry it in your shoulder, and so on and so on. So the sheikh, he made it metaphorically. You have to be responsible to pay your bills and to do the right thing, you know. So he went home and he carried his wife. He carried her on his shoulder and he's running in the house. He says, oh my husband, you never did this. What happened? He says, the sheikh says, carry your burden. It's not like this, my brother. It's in total, in totality, a man should take marriage as ibadah. So marriage is an act of ibadah. If the woman knows that az-zawaju ibadah, then everything will change. Can you say, Ya Allah, I don't like to make wudu for salat. I just want to pray. No, your salat is not accepted. Why? Because salat is an ibadah, wudu is ibadah, it's an act of worship in Allah. Can you believe marriage is an act of, one of the acts of ibadah, the most. The pregnancy is an ibadah. Many women probably don't know this. When you go through pregnancy, you are in an act of ibadah. When you deliver the baby, you are in an act of ibadah. You worship in Allah. When you're cooking, you are not. When the man, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, when the man is spending every penny you put in your family, wallah, I give you the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he says, it's sadaqah, it's charity, and it's accepted as you give in charity. When you buy the food for your family, when you pay the bills, how much money you spend? $3,000? You are giving $3,000 charity every month. We don't see it like this, but that's how we work. You have to be happy. Allah give you the ability to give charity. We cannot sometimes give charity here and here and here. We enough to support, but feel good. You feel happy that I am giving charity too, every day. Nobody can deny. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ, a man came to him and he says, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best charity? He says, the money that you spend for your family. The best of charity is the money that you so as zawaju ibadah. You come like this. The other ayah, I don't want to go through too much because I will exceed the time, but I tell you the most important because the time. But anyway, the other ayah I mentioned, I didn't finish it in the khutbah, and that gives the beauty of man and the woman. They are like two orbits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives examples of the sun and the moon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives example of the layl wal nahar. Listen to this ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنْثَى إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاللَّيْلِ, by the night that's spread out, the night, there's sakina, this tranquility in the night. Allah giving us now example of the man and the woman. And then He says, وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى. By the day that it's spread out, the day you go work, you go make money, dig the ground and pay your bills. That's why Allah SWT give example by layl إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى. And then He says, وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنْثَى. And He does not create male and female. And then He says, إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. That your earning and your spreading on earth are different. They are not the same. Man is not like this woman. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. Allah says the woman is not like the man. In the Sharia, Allah SWT, He says, النِّسَاءُ شَقَائِقُ الرِّجَالِ. When it comes to the Shara of Salat, that the women are the brothers. When it comes to the physical thing, then the woman is not like the man. The man has different responsibilities. The woman has a different responsibility. So one of the major ingredient of happiness and happiness between two people is that each one of them are swimming in their own orbit. Allah SWT give another example. He said, لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر. Listen to this, my brothers and sisters, if you are in the back. لا الشمس, the sun does not look to capture the moon. ولا الليل سابق النهار. And the layl is not exceeding the days. Allah, the most beautiful I heard about the men and women is the Shaykh who was talking about this ayah. Is the most beautiful job of the man and the woman. He gives example of the solar system. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر. That the sun does not want to oppress the moon. It does not want to catch the moon. ولا الليل سابق النهار. And the night is not exceeding the day. No, we cannot have 2 nights and 2 days. One day has night. That's confusion. And then He says, what did He say? Interact with me. وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Allah. And each and every one swimming in its own orbit. Man is man. Woman is a woman. Woman has a power in certain things. Man have power in certain things. The woman, she's not jumping on the responsibilities of man. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, لَعَنَ الْمَرْأَةُ الْمُتَرَجِّلَةُ. May Allah curse the woman that she'd like to be like a man. And may Allah curse the man that he's like to resemble like the woman. Each and every one of them is swimming in its own orbit. I don't want to step on your toe, my wife. You want to design the room, you wanted to change the window, you want to do the cooking, you want to buy the kitchen, mashallah, be my guest. I'm so happy, mashallah. So you lived it. The man is outside, he's paying the bill, and he's making the money, and the woman, she says, oh my husband, you are doing a good job. May Allah help you. May Allah, subhanallah, bring us the halal. Bring us the halal and do not bring the haram. We are happy. This is one of the most beautiful example that we say this. Imam Ahmed, he gives the same example about the sun and the moon and the night and the day. He says, I lived with my wife more than 25 years. We never have not even one argument. It's a miracle. You live with somebody for 25 years and you don't even have an argument? He says, yes. He says, how do you do it? Hey, how do you do it? How did you achieve this? It's amazing. We fight about everything. I want to go to the east. My wife, she want to go to the west. I want to go to the north. My wife, she said, no, we go to the south. We want to eat this. No. Today we're going to eat this. They fight. This is shaitan is playing the game. And the people are so naive and so a victim and so targeted. No.
Take it easy. They talk.
Oh, it's okay.
They can go.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. It's okay. My Allah, they are talking, but their ears, they are listening. Are you married, my brother? We find you a wife, then you can sit here, my brother. They say marry him and you finish him. Anyway, who's married? Who's not married? How many? 2 people, 3 people. It's easy, inshallah. Allah. الزواج نصف الدين. Okay, Imam Ahmed, he said, why you are not having this argument with your wife? For 25 years happy? And when did you? He says the first time when we get married, we agreed. If my wife if I get so angry, رضيني. Make me happy. If I get so angry, you make me happy. If you get so angry, I make you happy. And he says we've been like this. Sometimes human beings are fluctuating. They are not the same. I don't mean to be angry. I don't, but sometimes I am coming from the work and this guy took my money and I lost $2,000. I dropped the pocket. You know what happened? Oh, somebody stole my car. So you go home. When you go home, you go home to your wife. And then you blow up, you say something. The wife should understand. Oh, my husband, it's okay, inshallah, it's going to be okay. Oh, no, inshallah, just quiet. If the woman learns these skills, when the man is rocket high, he's going to the top, she's quiet. Make a shy and sit down and give him. He does drink it, leave him alone. He will come back and come to you and says, my wife, this is what happened, I'm sorry. Oh, mashallah, you see, you solved the problem like this. It was going to be a divorce. It was going to be a war. But the woman, she fixed it in no time. In no time. I'll give you an example. And mashallah, this is jumping in my mind. This is the beautiful advice for the sister. And then I'm giving the sister, I'm giving the man as well. Anyway, this woman, she had an argument with her husband. And he put his hand on her, which he's not supposed to. There is a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ never, ما ضرب عبدا ولا زوجا. He never beat his slaves, he never beat the people under him, he never spanked or beat his wife, never. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, وَلَيْسَ بِخِيَارِكُمْ. He's not the good amongst you who beat their wives. وَلَيْسَ بِخِيَارِكُمْ. They are not good. They are not good, the ones who beat their wives. The Prophet said many hadith about this. But anyway, he beat his wife. She was crying. All of a sudden, somebody knocked the door. You know who? He opened the door. The husband opened the door. Her father and brother. Allahu Akbar. The war is going to be. That's it. You know, Al-Madad. You know, United Nations now come. Look at the woman. Al-Fatina, Al-Dhakiya, Al-Taqiyya. The true woman, the sincere, the intelligent woman. Look what she's going to have. That's why they say Al-Hubbu Mawaqib. Love, it comes by time. When somebody does something wrong for you and then you accept it, that's when you create love on the heart. Because al-hubbu ya'ti ma'a al-waqt. Love comes through time. La hubba qabla al-zawaj. There is no love before marriage. Love, true love, is after marriage. He opened the door and her father and brother standing. Say, come inside. They look at her, she's crying. Why are you crying? Oh, my husband, oh my father, I just thought about you an hour ago. And I was crying. I said, Ya Allah, bring my father and my brother. Oh Allah, bring my father. I want to see you. I missed you. And all of a sudden you are here. And the husband is like, Ya Allah. What she did? She fixed the whole thing. So they drink tea, they eat, they joke, they stuff. But he never forget now. Now she become the coldness of his eyes. Where can I find a woman like this? Now I'm going to show this and this. Now I'm going to be, now you owe me something now. What can I do for you? This is the nature of the man. He wants to do something. He wants to protect his wife. He made a mistake. You cover me. Now, so he says, okay. When they finish the visitation, he said, let me drop you and you're home. So he dropped the father and their home. Before he comes home, he went to the jewelry store. And he bought $10,000 ring or necklace. 10,000. He says, whatever I have in my account. And then he gave it to his wife. And says, I'm sorry. Why? Because you showed me already. You was tested and you showed me that you are a true wife, a true woman. That you wants to stay with me and so on and so on. But imagine today you put your hand in somebody. 911! Sabr, patient, wallahi, you get everything in this dunya and the akhirah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he says, رَحِمَ اللَّهُ مْرَأَةً. May Allah have mercy. Imagine the Prophet making dua for a woman. May Allah have mercy on a woman. غَضِبَ عَلَيْهَا زَوْجُهَا فَذَهَبَتْ عِنْدَهُ. Her husband was angry. She went to him and she says, هَذِهِ يَدِي فِي يَدِي. This is my hand in your hand. وَاللَّهِ لَا تَقْمَضُ لِي عَيْنًا حَتَّى تَرْضَى. He says, my eyes, this is my hand. Please forgive me. Wallahi, la taqmadu li. I will never get a good sleep until you are happy. Today, see, this is the interaction between the man and the woman. And okay, that's one thing. I show you one, there is 10 things. 10 things. I'm going to just go them quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we stop because time. Okay, 10 things you do, and some of them I already mentioned, maybe 2 or 3, but I cannot go break them all because it takes the whole day. But I'm going to go. Number 1, al-ikhlas wa taqwa wal ihtisab. Number 1, I am married, I should have taqwa, I should have al-ihtisab, I should have al-ikhlas, I should be sincere, I should have reward from Allah, I should expect the reward from Allah. This is number 1 that makes any marriage happy. If you change your intention now, you go home and everything is gone. You say, Ya Allah, from today, I'm going to be sincere in my marriage. I'm going to expect the reward only from you, not from my wife. My happiness does not come from my wife. That's the problem. The happiness that for the woman, that should not come from the husband. Have you ever thought about this before? The happiness comes from Allah. Wallahi, if we have this concept, that's it. I'm going home, I'm doing the best, I'm buying, I'm spending, but I'm not expecting the reward from my wife. This is happiness. This is happiness. I'm rewarded from Allah. I'm giving charity. When you give charity in the back, do you expect from Dr. Beg to give you back or somebody? Nobody. You expect from Allah. In your marriage, if you do the same thing, you spend to your best ability. If you don't have this, I don't have. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. In a nice way, I don't have. Wallahi, anything, here you go. Alhamdulillah. But anyway, you spend and you expect the rewards from Allah. Because lots of people, they come and say, I did this for my husband, I did this for my wife, I didn't expect anything. That's the problem. Because you're doing it for her. You're doing it for him. No, change this him to Allah, to the creator of the universe. I'm cooking for Allah, for my husband, because this Allah told me to do this. وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. It's Allah is commanding me to treat them in a nice way. So I'm treating you nice because of Allah. So you cannot go wrong. You always get reward from Allah. Even if your wife doesn't even talk to you. Wallahi, that's amazing. Why you feel so happy? Why? Because happiness comes from Allah. I'm doing the right thing. For 10, 15 years, I'm trying to do the best thing I can. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm changing the diapers for the kids. And then my husband doesn't appreciate it. Alhamdulillah. It's okay. I'm not expecting the reward from you. You don't have Jannah, you don't have hellfire. I'm doing this for Allah. Wallahi, if we sincerely understand just the first one, we'll be, inshallah, very happy in our marriage. Second one is al-iqtisad, moderation. You know what is moderation? The most people who divorce, it's about money and expending too much. The woman is destroying the money right and left. The man is spending right and left. No. Al-iqtisad. You go to the house of the Prophet Muhammad, simplicity. Simple. We don't have, alhamdulillah. Just a little bit here. Oh, my husband, even if you bring a little bit for us, we are so happy. Do not bring haram. Do not bring haram. Today the women, oh my husband, I don't care where you get the money from. You go steal, you go cheat, you go to jail, bring the food in the table. The Salaf al-Salih, the women of before, Ya zawji, oh my husband, he's going to work. Be careful, be careful. The woman, she's telling, imagine your wife telling you this in the morning, oh my husband, I love you so much. You are the purpose of my eyes. Do not bring haram to my house. Do not bring haram to the children. Do not bring haram to my home. If you bring a little bit, wallahi, barakah sa'adah comes from me. Al-iqtisad. This is quickly. في المعيشة. القناعة والرضا بالقضاء الله. This is number 3, very important. The women and the men. Look at your wife, look at your husband. I am happy with this human being. This is what Allah is giving me. That's it. I'm not looking at another man. I'm not looking at another woman. I am so happy with you. This is qana'a, satisfactions in the heart. That gives happiness in the life. Otherwise, you will never be happy. You are swimming on the ocean that has no shore. But I'm happy. This is my wife. She's beautiful, mashallah. There was a man, he was so, I don't want to say ugly, he's beautiful because he has iman, but he's not good looking. And he's married to a woman, she's extremely good looking. And he's extremely not good looking. And they're happy together like everything. Happy. And she used to say, oh my husband, you and me, insha'Allah, in Jannah. He says, why? He says, you are extremely not good looking, and you have, and Allah give you, me, I'm extremely good looking, and you always, I see you thanking Allah. And I'm always sabira, I'm always patient, and praising Allah, and accepting you. I am accepting you. You are my husband. Wallahi, I saw this with my own eyes in Switzerland. Beautiful woman. This is 25 years ago. And she's walking with somebody holding their hand. Wallahi, I'll never forget that moment. And she's holding his hand like this. And I say, subhanAllah. I didn't look at the physical thing, but I look at it because when I was small, I was more towards spirituality. I want to see. But she was extremely beautiful, and he was extremely different, but they were holding their hands to each other. And I said, subhanAllah. And I've seen this many times. Because man and the woman, they are not just picture. They are the inside, the moral character. There was a man, he's married to a woman. And when he go to her, he found her crippled from one leg, limping from one leg. So he went to Imam Shabi. He says, yeah, Imam, I married this woman, and she's limping from one leg. Give me an advice. The Imam gave him a beautiful advice. He says, إِذَا تَزَوَّجْتَهَا لِتُسَابِقَ عَلَيْهَا الْخِيَالِ فَطَلِّقْهَا. If you married her to be racing the horses, you are going to ride her to race the horses? No. If you married her to race with her, you need her to have strong legs so she can run. But you married her because to raise your children, to be nice to you, to protect you, if you need the intimacy. So the heart is more than... So this is one of the things. It's al-qana'a, which is satisfaction of the heart. Number 4, at-tawadhu'u wa 'adamu an-nushuz. This is the worst thing also. Allah mentioned this in the Quran. An-nushuz. What is an-nushuz? Whoever know this word in Arabic, an-nushuz. What is an-nushuz? An-nushuz is at-ta'ali wal-kibr. Is to be elevated, to be arrogant on one another. I am better than you. My father is better than your father. My mom is better than your mom. Well, I am educated than you. You have nothing. How can you be happy? You will be miserable until you die. And you never smell a glimpse of happiness. Why? Because you are elevating yourself above one another. No. Tawadhu. This is your wife. This is your wife. No matter what you say, just it's okay. Accept her. This is, and nushuz is not good. At-tazayyun. This is for the women and men. To beautify yourself. That's number 5. You have to beautify yourself to your wife. And the woman has to beautify herself to the husband. Because especially nowadays, the age of the internet, the age, inshallah, I will speak about this. I know the time people wants to leave, but this is one thing. Abdullah ibn Abbas used to say, inni, because everything I say, there is a hadith, there is a saying, there is something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said about the women. This beautiful verse. But anyway, I don't want to say too much, but anyway, إِنِّي لَأَتَزَيَّنُ لَهُنَّ كَمَا أُحِبُّ أَنْ يَتَزَيَّنَّ لِي. I beautify myself for my wife as well as I like her to beautify herself to me. Man go to work and he's in touch with all these people, and whether he's taxi driver, whether he's a businessman, and he sees all these women and they dress so nice and they do this, and when he comes home he finds his wife like crazy and fighting with the kids and stuff, and then he says, my husband, do you love me? Okay. You know, no, the woman should know the time of the husband before half an hour, take a shower, look nice, put some perfume, comb your hair. Oh, mashallah, you know, not when you go like, my back hurts, I'm gonna die tomorrow. You know, there's some people, they are playing, shaitan is playing. And then the same thing, the man coming from outside, his foot, like he sucks the smell. You know, go immediately hide and take a shower and put some perfume on, clean up yourself, adjust your hair, adjust your stuff, and then look and put some nice shirt on you, some nice short, and you're like in the house, put some push-ups, man. And look some handsome man. You know what I'm saying? Wallahi, this is amazing. People are crazy. Oh, I want my wife to die for me. Well, look at you. Go and become nice. I don't want to go to the gym because there's ikhtilaf, mixture. But in your house, buy some bars, do some exercise, you get some muscle. Because the women, they like to see what you like to see on them. And then the man likes to see on his wife. To be nice, to be the best. It doesn't have to be nothing to do with the features of the beauty. Wallahi, it's not. If a man, if a man have a woman and she's not good looking, but she always beautifies herself. She always put the perfume on her. But she's not good looking. She's not Malikatul Jamal, queen of beauty. But he will love her more than the one she is extremely beautiful, but she doesn't care. Her smell is not good, her mouth is not good, she doesn't brush her teeth. What is this? He just sits there and says, Ya Allah, when the Malak al-Maut will come. Same thing, the people, this is not good, Wallahi. The Prophet Muhammad, he said to his wife, I will be with you in Jannah. I want to be with my wife in Jannah because they changed. That's one thing. The last one, so we said this tazayyun. Number 6, al-ata wal-akhd bil-ma'ruf. I give to the best of my ability. And I try not to take too much. I like the bean. You remember? So that's number 6. Number 7. Do not compare your wife with someone else. Do not compare your husband with someone else. Do not compare your car with someone else's car. This is one of the main destructive tools of the family. You want to destroy your family, my sister? Go ahead and do it. You want to destroy your family, my brother? Go ahead and do it. And tell your wife, you know what, today I'm watching